Welcome back to BK Nothing But Nets podcast. I got a fuller panel today. I got my partner in crime, as always, Dylan at Nets Press. And we also got a reoccurring guest, Pete, over at Nets Fans You Know. Guys, this is bad. Blown out by Washington again after blown out by Houston last night. No Cam Thomas, no Michael Porter Jr. Today. We did get Yegor. Is this intentional, or do you think? No Claxton either, by the way. Is this intentional? Do you think? Is this intentional tanking, or are these just? Is this just situational? Nick Claxton had a personal issue, or is this? Do you think this is they were trying to lose today? Pete, let me start with you. Oh wait, Pete, let me not even be rude. Introduce yourself. Tell everybody they can find you. Give yourself a little plug. You're muted. There you go. Oh, we lost Pete.
StreamYard has been on a generational run of ass lately.
Yeah. Hang on. All right. While we try to get Pete back, Dylan, you want to field that?
About the game today? Yeah, I mean it was something. I mean, I was really expecting guys like Yegor and Noah Clowney to have really good performances. Those were the two most disappointing performances of the night. Just very poor defensively. They looked very weak physically. Shooting was atrocious on both ends. But there was a couple of positives in it. Drake Powell, Nolan Traore, they looked really good in the minutes that they played. Traore specifically on the defensive end and as a playmaker, plus the efficiency was really solid on his end. And then, of course, you had Drake Powell defensively, and as a scorer, he looked really good. So those were the two biggest bright spots for me. Day'Ron Sharpe looked solid in his minutes. I'm not going to say that he looked great. The stat line looks good. But if you watch the game, you'd notice that he missed a lot of in the paint touches, had a couple of shots blocked. So needs to be a bit better at the rim. But overall, this is exactly what we needed. This is probably going to go down as one of the three most important tanking games of the season for us, because this was a team that is much further ahead than us at the moment. This loss right now, we're closing in on the 4th overall odds. So this was a much needed loss on our end, especially with all these trade rumors starting. We're now a game and a half behind Washington,
which is good news, I guess. Washington is starting to get going a little bit, relative to what Washington does. Indiana seems to be the outlier there. Indiana's doing one hell of a tank job. I don't even know what you make of that. The NBA is going to have some. Here's Pete. Pete's back. Let me get to Pete. Pete, we good?
Yeah. My mic got messed up. I got to get a new mic. It's been disconnecting, and I couldn't get the audio fixed, so I had to leave and come back. But I'm good. I'm back now.
All right.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you. No Claxton. It said a personal issue. No Michael Porter Jr. No Cam Thomas on the back-to-back. Is this tanking? Is this trying to lose, or is this just a coincidence that these guys all didn't play today against Washington, a game you could win?
I think it's a little bit of both, right? Like Michael Porter Jr. wasn't even with the team yesterday. I think he's actually sick, and I just think it's a great combination of we're playing the Wizards. MPJ is sick. CT's coming back from injury. And you know what, Clax? You should probably take a seat tonight. I think it's a mix of all that.
It's a road game, so I'm not mad at it. I'd be mad at it like what they did with Houston when you sat Porter. But maybe Porter actually is sick. Like, is that legitimate?
Yesterday.
Yeah. Is he legitimately sick? It could be. I'm not mad about it, but I guess this finalizes that we're not trying to get into the play-in. Would you agree with that? Like, if we were trying to get into a play-in, today's a very winnable game. Cam Thomas and Claxton. I don't. Does anyone know what happened to Claxton? Does anyone know what his personal issue was? Not trying to get in his business, but does anyone know what it is? Okay, it's personal. Don't worry about it.
Exactly. It's none
It's none
your business.
All right. It's personal.
And I'll tell you, like, let me add one quick thing to that. For CT, Claxton, and MPJ, you don't want to have that injury bug tag put on you, especially someone like CT, So I firmly believe that it's for a real reason, because I think he would be extremely unhappy that he's finally back from the injury and then they're already sitting him one game, right? Not saying
Yeah.
that like he's struggling to play, but I'm saying that, there's probably a good reason this time, or at least they're using that as a great excuse.
What we got 35 minutes of Danny Wolf. We got 28 minutes of Yegor. We got 25 and a half minutes of Nolan Trey. And then Drake Powell played. Oh, he only played 21 minutes. Drake Powell, 5 out of 6. Hell of a day for Drake Powell. But your thoughts on? I've been wanting to see this all year with the rookies playing 30 plus minutes. What are your thoughts on the 4 rookies? The 4 rookies that did play.
I think you got I'm going to talk about the rookies, but I think one thing that you missed is the importance of Nick Claxton. When he is not on defense for this team, I think it completely falls apart. He's the anchor of this defense, and you saw what could happen if he's not around. It even helps the rookies play because he could focus on defense. He's the main guy pretty much running the offense out of the elbow. You saw guys like Noah Clowney get exposed shooting. For the rookies, I thought they played pretty well. Like you said, Drake Powell, he only played 20-something minutes. It felt like he was active the entire game.
He did, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Wolf has been a little cold lately, which is to be expected if you're a rookie. Igor didn't have the best shooting night. What was he, like 5 for 12?
3 for 12, 2 for 5
3
for
for
3.
12.
Yeah.
I was very happy with Nolan's game from the little things that I did see. I'm not expecting a lot out of him. So when I see little bursts here and there of what he could do, it really makes me happy. I liked seeing him on defense. He got like 2 steals. I know he's gonna get abused on defense because of his size and his age. But I don't know. I like what I saw. I really did. I know it was a blowout, but I was happy with the performance from the rookies.
Yeah, Troy got broken down that one time, but like defensively, him and Drake Powell both giving you quite a bit. Like they're both a pest on defense, both of them. I like what they offer you defensively. Let me bring this over to Dylan. Troy has been, Drake Powell has been pretty good since day one, but Troy struggled. He does look like he turned the corner a little bit, does he not, Dylan?
No, he definitely had a much better game, especially following up the Rockets blowout. Much more efficient from the field. Looked really solid defensively. So all around, it was just a really nice representation of what his game could come out to be. I believe he had 6 assists, if I'm not mistaken. So really, really well-rounded night for him. Again, I will continue to say it. He reminds me a lot of Andrew Nemhard, and I think that this is definitely something that he can continue to develop into, whether that be, a 6-man role or potentially the starting shooting guard sometime next season, if we continue to try and, develop youth and not really aim for a playoff spot right away.
I have 2 takeaways that I want to ask you guy about. First, I'll start with Jalen Wilson. Dylan, no more Jalen Wilson, bro. Can we be done with Jalen Wilson? No more Jalen Wilson.
It's sad, but it's just it's time. He's not gonna be here next year.
There's no I don't want to see him. He got 16 and a half minutes today. No more Jalen Wilson, bro. No more Jalen Wilson. I'd rather see EJ Liddell in there. I'd rather see Tyson Etienne in there. I'd rather see anyone in there. He's not going to be. He's and what is he? He's about 25, 26 now. Like he's not young anymore. So no more. Pete, you second that? Have you had enough of Jalen Wilson? This experiment has failed.
Yeah, I'm trying to look up how old he is right now. Yeah, he's 25. You didn't use a high first rounder on him, right? He was a guy who was he was I think a second rounder and an older player in college basketball. And you could see what his role would have been, right? He does a lot of things okay. He's not great at anything really. He hustles a lot. He can knock down a 3 here and there, but his talent could only take him so far. I think he's a Jordy favorite, and I think that's why he's still here. I could see him on the team next year just on the fact of how much he hustles and like for quote unquote culture stuff. But playing time, I agree. He's got to take a seat, unfortunately. He seems like a nice guy.
Yeah, I know he does seem like he's a Texan guy. He lives about 10 minutes from where I'm from. It's enough though. It's enough, Jalen Wilson. This is not getting better. What is this? This is year 3 or year 4 for him? Year 3, right?
Year 3.
Yeah, year 3. The other thing, Drake Powell gives you good production every day. 5 for 6 today, 14 points. He played excellent defense. He hit all 3 of his free throws, 1 or 2 from 3. He just gives you solid defense and efficient scoring every day for the most part. Is it time to either up his minutes or get him into the starting rotation? And if so, is it man that comes out? I want to see Drake Powell with the starting 5. I want to see Yegor and Powell on the court together, opening and closing games. Are we ready for that yet, Pete?
I don't know. I think we're getting there. I think you're going to see man staying there. Like, are you asking me or Jordy Fernandez? Because if you ask Jordy Fernandez,
yeah,
it's a different answer. Jordy's going to play the vet, right? Drake is going to have to earn his minutes. I can't imagine that Jordy's too upset with Drake Powell with all that he does. The numbers are pretty good. I think he's shooting like 34% from 3. Like, you can't get upset if someone's 3 and D and they're playing great D and shooting 35% from 3. That's kind of what you're expecting from them. And he's only 19 years old. I think he has potential to be, a nice 6-man or a potential starter down the line. He might start this year, to answer your question. He might.
To me, like I think we've decided that we're not trying. Not that we're not trying to win games. Winning games isn't the main objective this year. It's developing these rookies. I would think that the way that he's played this year, you think of Drake Powell as a starter sooner or later, no?
Keep in mind he is coming off like an injury, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they're gonna go ahead.
I'm not knocking Jordy for not playing him more minutes as of right now, or not having him in the starting rotation. What I'm saying is that we are approaching the point where we can do that.
Yeah, you're going to have 2 19-year-olds in the starting lineup. Maybe you might need some more order.
Yeah.
Maybe, maybe in a month we look at this totally differently. But as of right now, I think if he's playing well, why not just keep him in this role? Let him keep on growing his role. And down the line, a month, you can try out. I got distracted by that from Dylan.
Yeah, my bad. My bad.
Yeah, maybe you put him in the starting lineup a month from now, but let him be succeeding in his role. Don't touch it. Let him go.
Yeah, you're right. That's fair. If it ain't broke, why fix it, right? And he's playing really, really well in this role. I just want to see more of him. Like he's been the one pleasant surprise to me. I thought he had upside. He didn't play much in college, so he really hasn't played that much basketball. He's only 19. He didn't play a ton of minutes at North Carolina. He had the lowest usage rate for a guy ever picked that high, right? In college?
I wouldn't know that off the top of my head.
I think
sure.
so. I think that's what they said leading up into the draft. That any guy picked in the top, wherever he was picked, 22, he had the lowest usage rate ever for anyone's ever drafted that high. So what do we got here? All right, let me get back to Dylan. Dylan, you there?
Yes, sir.
I wanted your thoughts. I was talking to Pete. I think it's time, or we're quickly approaching the time where I want to see Drake Powell either playing a lot more minutes and or in the starting rotation. I want to see him with Yegor because I think that's what we're going with in the future. Are we there yet with Drake where he should be inserted into the starting lineup or playing 30 minutes a game?
Depending on what they do at the trade deadline with guys like, Haywood Highsmith, Zaire Williams, Cam Thomas, I don't think that he's ready to start just yet. If those guys are moved on from and there's no significant return in terms of players, then I could definitely see him being inserted into the starting lineup. To me, I think the biggest thing is going to be whether or not you can play Traore, Drake, and Yegor some starting minutes together for the last 15, 20 games of the season. I think if you were to play Nolan at the 1, Powell at the 2, Yegor at the 3, MPJ at the 4, and then, potentially whoever's playing center, depending on if Claxton's here or not, then I think that would be very intriguing. It's a young lineup. You're going to get a lot of development out of them for that last quarter of the season, but you're also going to get a lot of losses and put yourself in a really good position to, land the top pick possible that you can get. So that's what I would like to see personally. Do I think that both of them will start at some point in the season? Maybe, but is it going to be for a 15, 20 game sample size like I'm hoping for? Probably not. But at the end of the day, that's kind of the three guys that I would like to see starting next to one another.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. And like to me, it's a win-win. If you play all three of them together, all three rookies together, and they win, that means they're way ahead of schedule and awesome. If they lose, extraordinary. Now we get a better pick, and we got them minutes together. To me, playing the rookies maximum amount of minutes together is a win-win. Like even like it's like raising bull. Even if you lose, you win. You know what I'm saying? If they lose every game by playing those three rookies together, great. And if they win, great. They're way ahead of schedule. They're way better than we thought they were. To me, it's only a win-win to play them. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Go ahead, Dill.
Yeah, I think it's a win-win for sure. Yeah, again, the goal of this season is to land the highest pick possible. That hasn't changed. But like you said, if three rookies are playing the last 20 games of the season and you're winning a couple games down the stretch, you really can't be upset about it at that point. There's nothing more that you can do. Your youth is developing. They're impacting the game. So I like I said at the beginning of the season, if rookies are going to be main focal points and wins, we can't be upset. That includes guys like Michael Porter Jr. That includes guys like Nick Claxton. Again, you got Michael Porter Jr. at 18 points and 7 rebounds a game. He's averaging 26 and 7, right? So when a guy like that is taking an all-star leap and is impacting the game of winning against playoff caliber teams, playing caliber teams, you can't be upset about that. Same thing with the rookies, right? If you're late down the stretch and these guys are all starting or they're getting major minutes, potentially multiple starting, you can't be upset if games are won down the stretch.
With the rookies playing down the stretch, more than likely, if you have three rookies in down the stretch, you're going to lose that game far more often than you're going to win it. All right. So for those
realistically, if you trade Nick Claxton, you sit Michael Porter Jr. out the last 18 games of the season. You know what I mean? If you trade Nick Claxton and you don't get many players that are good in return, like say you get Buddy Hield and Moses Moody or something like that. If you sit Michael Porter Jr. and you don't have Claxton, you're going to have a lot of young guys playing. There really shouldn't be many wins being accumulated because of the fact that this team is very young and there's not a guy out there, right? We've seen what it looks like now for 2 straight games when our guy is not out there. You know what I mean? Michael Porter Jr. has missed the last 2 games. We've been blown out in each of those games with no player able to score 25 plus. That includes Cam Thomas. So it goes to show how valuable he's going to be for this organization if we're able to keep him long term. I still think that at the end of the day, the Nets' goal moving forward needs to be a top pick this year, but you also need to be able to maintain a semi-decent enough roster to where you can add pieces to it next season and shoot for a play-in spot. You don't own your own pick next year. And the following offseason in 2027, you're set to have potentially 2 max contract slots. You could pull another KD and Kyrie because of how good that free agency class is. So the whole we can't keep Michael Porter Jr. thing, it's false. If the team's not willing to give me 3 first-round picks, 2 of which are in the 2030s, 1 of which is this year, I'm hanging up the phone. If you want an all-star, come get an all-star.
Yeah. He's an all-star. He's not a salary dump anymore. He's an all-star, period. His play, his impact on the game.
It's not even like it's a fluke quarter of the season type of thing. He's doing this consistently. It was a fluke for Cam Thomas, and I called that out, and I was right about it, like I have been the entire time throughout his career, and I'll throw my shade every chance I get. But Michael Porter Jr. has shown consistency as a efficient, highly efficient scorer from 3 from the field. He's improved as a playmaker. His rebounding has stayed the same. You can't ask for anything more. A guy averaging 26, 7.5, and 3.5 on borderline. He's shooting, I believe, 43% from 3 this season, 49 point something from the field.
Yeah.
It's absolutely ridiculous what he's doing. So this has you gotta dead the whole we need to get rid of Michael Porter Jr. thing. You need him moving forward.
We need to get rid of him.
Shut up, Pete.
The conversation has shifted organically to Cam Thomas. Let's go there. Cam Thomas played well against Houston. I like the role that he's in. This role where I know he hates it and he thinks he's above it. I don't really care. The role that he's doing right now, coming off the bench, scoring 20 points a game off the bench. Isn't this what he should be doing? Like, I like the role that he's in. I know he doesn't like it, but why do I care what he likes? Pete, I'll start with you. What are your thoughts on the way Cam Thomas has been playing and his immediate future with the Nets?
Oh, man, there's like a loaded question. There's just so many ways I could go about this. Obviously, he's not happy about it. You know, what was it the other day? He had that he was asked a question about not playing and he said no comment. Was it yesterday?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Houston. Yeah.
Like it's obvious that he's not happy and it's obvious that the road is done here. You know what I mean? Like, let's just get him to Houston as quickly as possible. If the Nets, I don't know. I don't understand how someone like him does not have any value, but apparently he doesn't. I would think if you're a competing team that a 2032 protected second rounder would at least be, worth the risk of getting him. But, there's a lot of talk that he doesn't have a market. Maybe teams are just waiting for him to be cut by the Nets because it's pretty obvious Sean Marks does not like him and he's not in the long-term picture.
Jordy doesn't like him either. We can stop blaming Marks. Yeah. Jordy doesn't like him either.
But what does he have to do?
But that's the fourth head coach. That's the fourth head coach.
What does he have to do to be like, okay, this guy could be part of our future? That's what I'm trying to wonder here. Like if he gets his shooting percentage up, if he gets his assist up, the defense, what has to happen?
He said it. His defense needs to be better. The turnovers need to be cut down on. I need to see better playmaking. Like, it's always right in front of him, but he refuses to change his game.
Would you pay him if his defense gets better and the assists go up, though?
But they're not going to. We can't.
I feel like they wouldn't.
I'd give him the 14 mil again. I would do that.
Here's the thing, though. We keep throwing out the hypotheticals like what ifs. He's in year 5. He's not getting better. This is what he is. He is an inefficient 22 point per game, 30 game a season, horribly below average playmaker and defender, role player. That's what he is.
Agreed. So,
but
I'm not disagreeing.
Let me get it here because we're not gonna make this another arguing with Dylan episode. I'll make this last point, then I'll shut up. But like coming off the bench the other day when his first game back and putting up those numbers in limited minutes, like there's value in that. Yes, he's not going to be defending the other team's best defender, but if he plays, 20 minutes and puts up 15 points a night, like there's value in that. You can't tell me there's no value in that.
Are you a Yankees fan? Are you a baseball guy?
Yes, I am.
Do you remember Giancarlo Stanton like 3 or 4 years ago when he was coming back from those injuries?
Yeah,
he was batting 200, but that 1 out of every 5 hit was a home run, right? That's Cam Thomas. That doesn't do anything for you in that specific season, and he's been this way for 2.5 years. He's not getting better.
Yeah, but Giancarlo Stanton is like a starter, right? Like if we put Cam Thomas off the bench and he's doing that, I feel like there's value there, even like a protected second-round pick.
But the difference is where is he going to agree to this? He's not. He's selfish. He thinks that he is above everybody. And that's what I'm saying, though. You don't need these cancers on the team anymore. Is he a locker room cancer? Probably not. But is he visibly a cancer to this organization based on his appearance, based on his comments? Yes. And it's time to just end it.
Good.
I
got to make a dark comment, and then I'll shut up with this. This is going to be messed up to say, but I'm going to say it. We've seen teams sign people who have beaten women before.
Very true.
Yeah, well,
like, what's up?
Well, yeah, our best player ever in the history of this franchise, Jason Kidd.
Let's not talk about that.
All right.
The DUI man.
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
Yeah, what up, LBL? Let me get you Cam Thomas's performance since he's gotten back. I like him in his role. This is where I want him. I know he doesn't want that, but what are your thoughts on Cam Thomas?
Well, my thoughts on it really are, it's not anything that we didn't expect that he could do this, because some of us were saying this, even 3 years ago. Like this is his ultimate role. But coming off the bench, being instant offense. But of course, the person himself doesn't like doing it, and he's dissatisfied and unhappy. Then it's not going to work. Of course, it's not going to work a long time. But I would say the thing that is just so crazy to me is he's making $6 million. If he's not happy, it's like I don't know what the end game plan is with the Nets, because it's like you cut him, he joins Golden State or Houston Rockets or whoever. It's like, why should we care anymore after that? I mean, I don't care if he goes and he wins a championship, because he wasn't doing that in Brooklyn. So why are we holding all of this back because he was once a first round pick of ours? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. You lowball him, you devalue him, so you devalue his trade stuff. So now everybody's looking at him now, and teams aren't looking even for a second round pick, Pete. They're just like, no, we're just gonna wait till he gets enough on their nerves and they end up cutting him, and then we'll try to sign him. That's what's gonna happen.
It's like I want to make an analogy. Like we've all played, pick up 5-on-5 with one guy who is Cam Thomas, where he makes a bunch of shots, but he just dribble. He doesn't pass the ball, and he puts up every shot. When you win, you can live with it. When you're not winning, you don't ever want to play with that guy ever, right? Like I'm losing, and you're putting up 100 bad shots, none of them are going in. You don't ever want to play with that guy, right? That's Cam Thomas. We've all played pickup with a guy that does that, right?
Yeah. The fool's gold is like, I don't mind admitting I'm a scrubby player, but I've played with, like my friends are thankfully all better than me. So I would stay on the court. I would stay on the court just doing my Reggie Evans impression. And therefore we would keep winning, and that's how I stayed on the court. There were guys that were like Cam Thomas that, oh man, I could outscore everyone. But you're losing. You're like freaking 0-6. What's going on?
Here's my thing. I'm at the point right now where I would give up both of our second round picks plus Cam Thomas for Peyton Watson over at Denver. I would. I think Peyton Watson's got tremendous upside, and I think
Well,
Denver needs to score.
but that's not a I wouldn't do that if I was Denver. I was watching the Nets game, this game, and I just caught the end of the
Yeah, they
Knicks.
just took down Cleveland. I saw
Yeah,
that.
but I'm saying the Peyton Watson, there's no way. They're in two different stratospheres right now in terms of Peyton Watson is the old Bruce Brown that we had, even though they're teammates now.
I was gonna say Watson's 6'8" though. No,
Yeah, but I'm saying, but he's doing everything. He's doing everything on that team. He's
like
a
Watson in
connector.
his last 10 games is averaging 14 points, 4 rebounds, and a steal, but his defense is incredible.
Yeah,
Like this is a
yeah.
guy who, yeah, he's gonna give you maybe half the production in terms of scoring as a Cam Thomas would with starter minutes, but the upside
But,
as a 3-and-D two-way role player is really good on him.
yeah, you don't have to convince me. You don't have to convince me he could play, because I agree with you. But what I'm saying is, I think he's too valuable to Denver to give up.
Well, I had read reports saying that they're going to look to dump him because he's an unrestricted free agent this year, and they don't want to lose him for nothing because they can't afford him. I had saw that a couple weeks ago.
I just
gotta
don't
figure
think.
out who it's from.
Okay,
Again, but
if you're
that's gonna make
correct,
me intriguing.
okay. Well, if that is the case, I just don't think Cam Thomas would get it done.
Yeah,
You know.
I mean, hell, even if it's Zeke Naji and Peyton Watson for Zaire Williams and Cam Thomas, like I would do that straight up.
Yeah.
Does the salary work on that?
Zeke Naji's around like $8.5 million for 3 years. It's a horrible contract because he doesn't play. And then Peyton Watson's at like 4.3 million, so that's about 12. And then you've got Cam, and so the Nets would be taking on about $1 million in that one. Denver would be able to do that.
Yeah, would you?
I would do that right away.
Yeah.
But do you see how little the value in Cam Thomas is? Like
That's what I'm saying. It's almost zero.
Yeah,
But that's why I'm saying
wild.
you either got to get whatever you can get, or you got to release him because he's not doing anything to make this organization better. He's not doing anything to help the young guys out.
I'm calling this typical Sean Marks behavior, in that you just don't have the cojones to release him. It's like, just release him. Let him go somewhere, and if he redevelops his game and becomes all that, who cares? We're on to our new era. Stop.
Because you don't because this is how Sean Marks thinks. I'm all for the Nets. I'm viewing everything with Nets shaded glasses on. If there's a 1% chance that Cam Thomas might rebound in value in some way, or maybe we could use him after the season ends, if another team wants him in a sign and trade deal, will we get back a protected second rounder in 2032? I'm going to hold on to him.
Listen to what you
That's how
said.
he's thinking.
A protected second rounder.
I'm being dramatic, right? I'm being dramatic.
Yeah.
If there's a 1% chance of having an asset come out of nothing, which is right now what it looks like, because there's no value here, he's going to hold on because the money to CT is already done. If we cut him now, he's getting the same money. It's not going to affect the cap. So why wouldn't you hold on to him if you are the Nets? Unless you're just so frustrated with him that you're like, you know what? You got to go home because the vibes are messing up the locker room.
Well, you know, well, let me ask you: is that real this time? The hamstring?
Yeah, absolutely. Why would
Because
it not be real?
No, because this is what I'm saying. That's frustrating enough for me that it's like, well, you know, we've had other players and other teams where, oh, they just can't seem to be healthy, so they're just going to cut them. And so that's what we need to do. And if he magically gets healthy and then starts playing and it starts averaging 20, it's like you can't keep going back to, oh, we once had him. Who cares? Nobody cares about that.
Kevin Durant got him drafted. Kevin Durant gushed over him the other night. Yesterday, I guess it was. Kevin Durant clearly loves himself some Cam Thomas. Is Kevin Durant going to get him on Houston? If so, what do we get from Houston in that trade?
I'll give them the next 2027 first. You give us back our first. You can have Cam Thomas. You can give me whatever player you want. I don't care. Give me Clint Capella.
Yeah.
I
would do all of that in fantasy, but I don't think that Kevin Durant really likes him that much.
I think
like when you said I know, but you said he was gushing over him. He was just supporting a young guy. I saw the interview. It didn't look like gushing to me. It just looked like he was trolling Marks.
Maybe. I didn't think of that. Maybe. Maybe. All right.
Remember, he's once the guy that said it's me or Marks, right?
And they kept Marks.
Yeah, so of course he's gonna troll them all the time.
All right. To me, there are like two options. You trade him to Houston or you release him. Which one's more likely? Pete, you want to start? And I'll go to you, Dylan, and LBL.
I don't think those are the only options.
Who else is trading for him?
I'm not sure, but this is how I look at it. If I'm a team that's in the playoffs winning, right? And I say I have a guy at the end of the bench making 7-8 million, and I could give Brooklyn a 2032 second rounder, and maybe we get Cam Thomas. Maybe he plays well the last 20 games of the season, and we could put him on the playoff roster, and he plays well in the playoffs, and he gives us a little extra depth. Or, and he doesn't, and we could just cut him if we really don't like him. I think I don't know. There's got to be one team that's going to say it's worth the risk because the reward of adding Cam Thomas to our bench in the playoffs would be huge.
I agree with you, but it doesn't seem like any team thinks that way.
Common sense says one thing, and the reality is another. So what that tells me is that there's a huge disconnect somewhere.
Is there something we don't know about? Is Cam Thomas?
That's what I'm trying to say.
Low key an issue? Is he unlikable? Is he generally disliked throughout the league? I don't know.
He's a good kid, but he's, from what I've heard, like he gets frustrated. He gets frustrated very easily. And, when he, like we saw the other day or yesterday, when he doesn't play in positions he feels like he should be playing in, he gets frustrated and he's not allowed to show it. I was talking with someone. I said, if he put on a PR face and just every time he was frustrated on the court, if he held it in, he might be $20 million richer today. I really feel that way.
I mean, he's 24 now. Is that how old he is?
He's going to, I think, 25 next year.
It's time to grow up. Like, it's like I get being.
I agree.
It's time to grow up. Let me ask you, Dylan. Is it more likely that we trade him to a handful of teams that may want him, or are we going to end up cutting him? What's more likely?
I think they end up finding a team. Realistically, I don't think that it's going to be a good look on his end or his representation's end to allow a release. So I do think that they'll find some form of solution, whether it be Houston, Denver, the Clippers. I think there's going to be somewhere that is willing to take a chance on him. Detroit, maybe, but again, I mean, they're so good. Why would they stoop down to the level of a guy who can't even buy into playing?
Don't Google. Who is Detroit's second leading scorer?
Man, their second.
That's why. You see what I'm saying? That's why.
Is it
Yeah,
Ivy?
but the problem is that they have Ivy, they have Tobias Harris, they have Duncan Robinson, they have Jalen Duren. All of these guys are putting up like 10 plus a game.
It's Jalen
Duren's up to like 15 plus. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They have a collective unit that plays together. Why do they want to bring in a guy who can't play make for those guys who are collectively playing well together and who's going to take away shots and shoot inefficiently?
Yeah, I don't think they do it. They'd more likely be asking for Porter if they really wanted another scorer. Not
but they don't have anything. They don't have anything I want. I'm not giving you Porter for scraps. Like I want an all-star.
Oh, I'm not saying that either. I'm not trying to help a near champ
if I'm Brooklyn,
become a champ.
If I'm Brooklyn and Detroit wants him that badly, it's Ron Holland or nothing.
For me, I'm like, when it comes to something like that, like a Porter or someone like that, I say, like, you find a way to get me a top 2026. I don't care if you have to make 3 trades before we give you Porter. You do that and make it happen.
The only team that's shown interest in him that has a 2026 that's tradable is the Warriors.
Yeah, but where are all these?
Can we keep it on CT before we move to Michael Porter?
Okay, let's go. Let's go to Cam. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Pete. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's all good. I was gonna say, like, did Jamal Crawford not have a role? Like, was he known for his defense? Like,
yeah, but he
bought
what I mean? Into the role. Like you need to buy into the role.
Maybe he goes to the Rockets and KD talks to him and he buys into the role.
You know what the difference is? You know what I think the difference is? There is a couple of differences. Jamal was more, he was more versatile in his play. I mean, he could play the 1 or the 2, right? Because he came up as a point guard. And then also he got along with everyone and he was like a savvy. Even when he was younger, he was still like a savvy young vet. We don't see that with CT. I mean, we don't see him, engaging with people and stuff.
It's fair.
Thomas, 1 second, Gary. I'm sorry, I keep on interrupting. I gotta leave soon, so I'm gonna interrupt a little bit. Is your roster better with Cam Thomas on it instead of a no-name guy at the end of the bench? I think your team is better.
Let me respond to that, Pete.
I think it's been proven that the team is better without Cam Thomas and Tyrese Martin.
I'm not talking about the Nets.
Let me respond. Okay, that's a difficult question, Pete, and here's why. Because he can't be part of your offense. He has to be your offense. So is he good enough to, with your second unit, you're not running an offense. You're running an offense through him. He's not a piece of your offense. He has to be your whole offense. So now you have to decide, is my second unit running strictly through Cam Thomas better than what I have currently?
Forget about the role. It's not even the role.
It's about the role.
If Jalen Wilson is at the back of your roster, is Jalen Wilson better than Cam Thomas?
No, he's not. But is my second unit better without Cam Thomas in it?
See, but here's the thing, though. The debate
that's the point too.
The debate is you guys constantly saying who's making it better. Like, none of them. Realistically, the team has proven that it is better without Cam Thomas. In the month of December, we were 7-3 before Cam Thomas got back. We are now 1-3.
In other teams.
No, I get that, but you're talking about a guy who needs to have the ball in his hands to be somewhat effective, and he can't even do that on a rebuilding team. So and there's no excuse either, because Michael Porter Jr. has 1 game single-handedly for the Nets as a rebuilding team without Cam Thomas on the floor. What Michael Porter Jr. has done is what everybody has wanted Cam Thomas to do. So no matter what scenario you try and throw out there to defend him, the proof is in the pudding. The proof is right there in front of us. He doesn't impact the game of winning, whether it's on a rebuilding team or likely in his next situation. He's going to be a 7th or 8th man. He's going to be on a 20 minutes, 25 minutes a game, and he's going to go out there to try and score when you're down 5. That's it.
And that's better than most other guys you'd probably throw out in that scenario.
Is it though?
Yeah.
But Pete, do you remember when did any of you see that video of Sam Mitchell talking about the problems with the Lakers? And he named all 3 guys, Luka, LeBron, and Austin Reeves. And he said one of the things with these guys is they're only effective when they have the ball in their hand. And it's like, this is the type of basketball is going on nowadays, that these guys come up and they always have to have the ball. If they don't have the ball, then they just stand around and whatever. And this is what I'm saying. Cam Thomas is great one-on-one scorer, but in a team game, when everyone's passing the ball and everything, he's not as effective. So he's not going to be a positive. He's going to be a negative. I don't know if you guys saw that, but it was pretty interesting to me because I thought Sam Mitchell, I think it was on NBA TV, but when he said it, he didn't let LeBron off the hook either. He just said, look, it's very hard. It's very difficult to play with guys who only feel they're at their best when they have the ball.
And that's my point about Cam Thomas is he can't be a part of the offense. He has to be the whole offense. So he's not Jalen Brunson. He's not Donovan Mitchell, right? He's not that good where you can just run the offense through him and let him go to work. He's not that good.
Sure.
So what is he? And that's the problem. He's a very good scorer, but he's not so elite where I can just give him the ball and feel good about it. Like I give the ball to Donovan Mitchell, I feel confident we're going to get 2 points. I give the ball to Jalen Brunson, I feel confident we're going to get 2 points. I don't feel that way about Cam Thomas. Do you?
And it's
are we comparing him as a 6th man or a starter, right?
But either way, so his NBA comp, I feel, is Jordan Clarkson. Yeah, is that fair?
I'm not looking.
I think it's fair. I think it's fair.
Yeah,
I don't think he's that good a shooter, but
Pete, Dylan, you said it's not a good comp. Why not?
We're talking about a 6'5" guard who has somewhat playmaking ability to his game, who plays with intensity, who gives effort, who scores at will when given the ball. But he also buys into his roles. Like he's playing well with the Knicks. He's helping them win games. He's done this everywhere that he's gone. Cam Thomas is not. There's no comparison for Cam Thomas right now because he's genuinely not a good basketball player. He's a good scorer. He's a good street baller, but he's not a good NBA basketball player.
I think it's hard to argue with what Dylan is saying at this point. When he got hurt this year and last year, I said, the offense is going to be disgusting. They're going to score 80 points a game. And this year especially, it got better. I understand what Pete's going to say. Pete's going to say, well, I'm not talking about this team, and that's fair. But, I don't know what team's offense. The only one I can really think of is Detroit. But does Detroit really want to bring him in with what they have going on? I can't think of another team that would be interested in him that is going to look at him and say, yeah, we are now better because Cam Thomas is dominating. Let's say Cam Thomas plays 25 minutes a game, and he's got a usage of 35%. We're better because of that. He's not that good of a scorer. He's not at that level where he can just take the ball and go to work and get you 2 points. He's not.
I was going to say,
let me hear from Pete because I know Pete's got to go.
I'm probably going to go after this. My idea is this, somewhat similar to what Dylan is saying. The way that I see it is we're in a playoff game. Game slows down. A lot of one-on-one ball. He's not starting. He's probably not even getting 25 minutes. But to put him in for 15 minutes in a playoff game compared to somebody else that maybe would just sit in the corner, someone who, probably a better defender, right? Sure. But someone, if you're down 5 and you want to add a little offensive punch, not a regular rotation type of guy, but 15, 20 minutes, we need a bucket. That's where I see the role. Now, does he want to do that? Who knows, right? There's a lot of what ifs, but that's how I would, if I'm a GM, that's how I see it. And if he's not good for that role, then I can cut him before the end of the year if I acquire him. And I got to run, guys. Have a good night. Let's go Nets.
Appreciate it.
Good night. Good night.
I've said this, 1,000 times. You're in the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't know, Gary. I just see him as, because it's not about him just taking the shots and hoisting the shots, but also some coaches, when you like, this is how some coaches used to. Since you brought up Jordan Clarkson, this is how some teams used to play against Jordan Clarkson. When he came in, they said, kind of let him go nut because that'll throw off all of his teammates' rhythms, and then let him think that it's him against us, and then later on
Yeah.
it'll help us. And this is what I'm saying. The same thing applies to Cam Thomas. It's like for him to really look good, it's like other guys have to downplay their offense and everything, and they have to run everything through him. So, like you said, he becomes the offense. And I can't see any team saying, well, that'll be beneficial to us, if that happens. I don't think it
That
will be.
that's my point. Is like the only places I could see him being traded are possibly Houston because Kevin Durant
You're
likes
on
him.
mute, I think.
Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. The only teams I can see him being traded to are Houston or Detroit. Okay. You can't hear me, LBL?
LBO, you're probably getting the same glitch that I usually do over at Breezy's. If you want, pop out and pop back in.
That's weird.
Gary, are you muted?
No, he can't hear me right now. Dylan, tell him to pop out and pop back in.
LBL, can you hear me? I don't even think he can hear me.
Yeah, I can't hear you either. Weird. Okay. Yeah, we're good. I just lost my train of thought. What were we talking about, Dylan? Where was I?
Something about Cam Thomas.
Something about
Gary, I think you're muted.
I don't think so, LBL. I don't think I'm muted.
You're gonna have to bounce him from it probably.
Yeah. I'm gonna message him real quick. Hang on 1 second. All right. This is all right. LBL. I can't sign out. Okay. I totally lost my train of thought. The only teams I can see Cam being traded to are Houston and Detroit. And I still, you still got to make a decision. How valuable is he to you? Am I better with him or without him? Like, and I think for Houston, the answer is I'm better without him. The only team maybe he works on their second unit is Detroit, but I've not seen Detroit.
I could see the Clippers going after him.
Yeah,
Bradley Beal's not going to play this year. He's out. You could literally do, Bradley Beal and a heavily protected first-round pick for Cam Thomas, and that protection is going to go back to them. But that's the only thing that I could think of.
I'm honestly at the point where I think it's more likely he gets cut. I don't think he's played his last season in the NBA. I think he'll kick around the league, but I'll be like, can you hear us?
Yeah, now I can.
All right, cool. I don't think Cam Thomas's days in the NBA are numbered like that. I just think he's going to be kind of a vet minimum guy. Like, I really do. Maybe a little more than that, mid-level exemption kind of guy. I don't think he's ever going to get paid, really. I don't see it. And turning down that 2-year, $30 million contract is probably a life-altering mistake, in all honesty. You said back then, Dylan, he should have took it, right?
Yeah, it was stupidity not to take it. He's not going to get anything this offseason either.
He got $6 million instead of 30. That hurts. That stings.
Well, he was never offered 30, but point being, it's like you were offered 14 million.
Well, it was 14 for 2
accept.
years. Yeah, it was 14 for all right, 28 million.
Yeah.
Yeah. He took 6 million for 1 year instead of 28 over 2. That's that. And what's he gonna get next year? 6 million again? He'll be in the league next year, but what's he gonna get? 6?
I genuinely don't see a team that would give him money. Like, he may be a 1-year league minimum prove it deal. Like, that's how bad he is to me. I don't see a team that wants him.
LBL, you want to get in on that?
Yeah. Um, I'm not seeing much for him, in terms of, because I think it has a lot to do with his style of play. I don't think that, like, I think his style of play could be like a coach killer. So a lot of coaches are like, I don't think we want to run this. So I can see what Dylan's saying, that people may stay away from him, because before we didn't know to what depth it was, like before, when all of us wanted, hey, just play him, try him, this and that. But now um it's like, now it's just crazy. You're laughing at the hot girl thing, right?
Yeah, because I
Go
always
ahead.
make analogies to hot girls,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
and Cam Thomas is like dating a hot girl, and you're going to the club wondering if you should dump her with hopes you find a hotter girl. I think Cam Thomas, it's equivalent to the girl with like huge implants. You're like, oh wow, she looks great, but then you look at her, it's like, no, she really just has big implants. There's nothing else. There's nothing else good about her. Like that's really it. That's Cam Thomas. It's good superficially, but once you have it, it's really not that good. But continue, LBL, continue.
Hey, how can I continue after that? But anyway, like I said, I just think that I think coaches would be afraid that, this guy could ruin my system. So, because he's not like, just, oh, I'm just a catch and shoot guy, or I'm just this and that. It's like, and that's what I'm saying. Even when you talk about a Jordan Clarkson's ways of scoring are way more versatile to me than his. Jordan Clarkson is more like a Jamal Crawford. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't have the handle, of course, but he definitely can shoot. And that's the thing with Cam. The thing is, to me, he's a scorer. He's not a shooter scorer. And so that makes him even less valuable. I don't know if I need all the Cam people to come up on here and attack me for that.
Here's my thing. Let me disagree with that. If he just stood in the corner and shot corner 3, he'd shoot 40%. He works so hard to put up bad shots, and the bad shots don't go in. If he just stood in the corner and shot corner 3, he's a good enough shooter. He can do that. I get what you're saying, but like, he can still shoot. The reason why his percentages are low is because he works so hard to put up bad shots. If he
So
stopped
you
putting
think so you think what you're saying is reminding me of, because I saw it when Larry Brown pointed this out about Iverson. He said Iverson has a great shot. He's talking about the rotation and all this and that. He said he just takes a lot of bad shots because he thinks he's better than everybody. So like, after he jukes his man or crosses him over, he's gonna go up and shoot it, even if it's not the best shot we need at that time. But he can shoot, and when we limit him to only take good shots, he's a great shooter. That's what he said about AI,
that's how I
right?
feel about Cam Thomas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I haven't seen that with Cam, but I
I know
understand it.
Dylan. I'm gonna pass the. I'm gonna pass the Dylan. Dylan, if Cam Thomas took a role where he just shot open threes, could he shoot 40% from 3?
Probably not.
He shoots 36% and he launches 10 bad shots a game. I mean, all right.
Yeah, but that's majority mid ranges.
But no, I'm saying from 3. He shoots 36% from 3, and that includes putting up a ton of bad shots, like stupid shots that he shouldn't be shooting.
I'll give him 37.
Right. Do you remember when they had Tyler Johnson,
Yes,
the white boy with the crazy hair? He used to
I remember him.
he used to basically just stand in the corner and shoot threes, and he shot 37, 38%. They were all open threes for the most part. You don't think Cam Thomas could do that?
Wow. Now you're taking me back to times. You're making me think of, who was that other shooter that we had? The guy that could really shoot, but he couldn't do anything else.
How long
Anthony
ago?
something. Anthony something.
Anthony Morrow.
Yeah.
No, he can't shoot like Anthony Morrow. Hell no.
No,
he
that's what
can't
I'm
shoot like-
saying. He can't. So that's what I'm saying. I don't really see him as a shooter. I see him as a scorer. You know,
No, I agree. He's a better scorer than he is a shooter, but he's a fair, average to above average shooter on open shots. The problem is he takes so many shots that aren't open. And you go into a dribble package. You've played basketball. When you're going into a dribble package and you step back, that is a lot harder than just catching, putting down one dribble and shooting. Like it's a lot
it
harder.
is. You mean he makes a good
Yeah.
shot worse, right? By over dribbling and everything. And so maybe that's what's happening.
All right. I'm gonna wrap this up soon, LBL. You got any closing thoughts for me? Anything you want to add to this? Can you hear me, LBL? You're on mute. All right, and then there was one. Can you guys hear me okay? Can you guys All right, I'm gonna wrap this up. All right, you guys can hear me. Right? It's not me. All right, I'm gonna wrap this up. I've been going on for Oh, here we go. I'm gonna wrap this up.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I've been going on. We're an hour in now. I'm gonna wrap this up. You got any closing thoughts? Anything you want to add?
Not just that. Well, I'm gonna say this. I liked what I saw out of Traore.
Yeah, I
To
wanted to
me, I
spend some more
wouldn't
time
mind
with
him
him. Yeah.
being. I wouldn't mind him being the starting point guard next year if he earns it. I wouldn't mind that. But I think, man, he is such a blur. And I think that the more he plays, the better his defense will get because it's really hard to be an instinctual player when you play limited minutes, you know. But I really like his game.
And I wanted to get into that. I'll maybe do it with Dylan tomorrow. I want to see all three of them play. Troy's the one, Drake's the two, Yegor's the three, and give them a bunch of minutes together. If they lose every game, so what? Who cares? Like it doesn't matter. It wasn't about that. But you got to
And
get them on the court together because they're all starting to. I think Drake Powell is actually the closest. Like Drake Powell's really good.
And
He
because
just
you said that, let me just say this also. I'm sorry to cut you off. I just want to say that I see Traore as our future one. I see Powell as the two. I see Yegor at the three, and I see Wolf at the five. You know, I don't know about everything else, but I would love to see that quartet play the rest of the year like that and see what happens.
I'm with you. At least like from the All-Star break on, after the All-Star break, I want to see those guys playing All-Stars minutes, playing together, starting games, closing out games, whatever. Like, there's only one way to find out whether or not it's going to work, and that's to put them on the court. And this year wasn't about winning anyway; it was about developing these kids. So let's see what it looks like. Like, it's either going to work or it's going to need work. But we need to find out. All right. LBL, I'm gonna wrap up. You got any plugs? Anything you want to promote?
Nah, man, I'll just keep trying to find you and Dylan and everyone else, you know, everyone in the Nets universe. So I'll just try to keep going and see what happens, right?
All right. Don't be a stranger.
Definitely.
All right. It is January 2nd, 2026. I got it right. I'm prepping myself all day not to say 2025. It's January 2nd, 2026. From Texas to the world. Thank y'all and God bless.